If you've been searching for a non-meat alternative to traditional pasta bolognese, this is the recipe you've been looking for. For ages, I've wanted to make a plant-based bolognese that tastes like the real thing, something that's just as rich, meaty, and hearty, but I also wanted it to resemble the look and the feel of bolognese as closely as possible. Lentils are the obvious choice here. They're a great form of protein and have a similar colour to regular bolognese. But as is, lentils are pretty plain and lack the fatty umami flavour from a meat bolognese. So there are a few key elements here to elevate the flavour. The first is time. The flavours will take a few hours to develop, but I think it's totally worth it, and you can definitely freeze extras so you have a good stockpile for a midweek feed. Next is the soffrito. The onion, carrot, garlic, and celery base will benefit from this low and slow cooking method, generating a heap of flavour. Lastly, the addition of stock, soy sauce, and red wine will help elevate the flavours and bring umami to the table. Let's get started. For our soffrito, we want 2 whole onions, 2 carrots, and 2 to 3 sticks of celery. We want our soffrito to be chopped as small as possible, so finely dice the veg, or if you have one handy, throw them into a food processor. Once chopped, throw it into a pot with a good amount of olive oil and let it sit for around 45 minutes to an hour on low to medium heat. During this time, stir regularly, and you gotta stay vigilant. These suckers can burn quickly if they stick to the bottom of the pan. You can also add more olive oil if the mixture is looking too dry. 30 minutes into our low and slow grind, add 2 to 3 cloves of garlic that you've minced up nicely. The goal here is to give our soffrito a nice tan, but the kind of tan where an hour in you realise the sunscreen you're using has been left in the hot car since last summer and it's just past its use by date. In other words, until the point where the vegetables are nice and brown and starting to char around the edges. You can see that after 45 minutes or so, we're pretty much at that point. I probably could leave it going a little bit longer, but alas, I decide to press on and throw in 2 cans of lentils and 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, stirring and letting sit for a few minutes or so. You can also use the back of your spoon to mush and break apart the lentils, giving it a more bolognese texture. Add a sprinkle of vegetable stock, around 2 cups of water, a tablespoon of soy sauce, and a splash of a few days old red wine. Bring your sauce to a simmer, and then turn down the heat and let it hibernate for a solid hour or 2. Make sure to taste as you go, and once you're vibing how it tastes and the sauce is reduced, you can take it off the heat. Then we can boil a pot of water, salt it generously, and throw in our pasta. I'm using this fusilli or casarecce type pasta, but honestly, just use whatever makes you feel good inside. When it's just underdone, reserve some pasta water and drain the pot. Mix in our bowl, adding some pasta water to loosen things up as we go and make our sauce stick. At this point, our journey is pretty much done. You can just serve up, add some parm or nutritional yeast if you feel like it. And then smash it. It's so good. Thanks so much for watching, guys. If you liked the video and you're interested in learning more, please like and subscribe. Cheers.